The Gi Spot. I'd hit that.
Welcome to the Gi Spot podcast. My name's Rachel Bradshaw and I have a black belt in Jiu-Jitsu. Hi.
Hello, how you going?
Excellent.
We're on. I forgot we were live.
You know what? I actually didn't do the 3, 2, 1.
No, you didn't count me in, so I was over here doodling. And now I'm being adjusted. All right, we're in. Doodling with my doodles. Hello, I'm Kaz. I still have a purple belt in Jiu-Jitsu and we're here with
our very, very special guest today. We actually have the team in studio with us today. And it's a weird day because it's Sunday. We don't normally record on a Sunday.
We don't. That's why I'm a bit all over the shop.
So, hello.
Hi.
I'm just going to let you settle for a second.
Yeah, you introduce and I'll just get my shit together. We've only been sitting here for 20 minutes. You think I would already have it together, but I don't.
So we have very special guests today. We have the team that went down to Nationals.
Yes.
With us in studio. We have veteran guest on the podcast today, Grant, my husband. There he is. We have had Jayden on before and he's back again. Welcome, Jayden. And then we have our first timer, Donnie, today on the podcast. Welcome, Donnie.
Now, hang on.
Guys, can I just say, Rach introduced the comp team. There's 4 in the comp team.
There is.
There are 4 in the comp team. She's sitting over there all by herself. The mama bear, the little general herself, also stepped up at Nationals. So can I introduce the lovely and amazing Rachel Bradshaw?
Again. Welcome, everybody. Now, before we get started, it's a very special day for multiple reasons. So let's quickly do this. Now I'm going to be burnt. Yeah, I'll come back to the mic in a sec. Hang on.
So what Kaz is doing is lighting a cake with 6 candles on it.
6.
Okay, ready? Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Donnie. Happy birthday to you. Hooray! Hooray! Yay!
Just make a wish.
Yeah. All right. So we're going to be able to eat while we do this. You get to see those mud cake.
Yummy.
That's right. Well, also try to remember not to be chewing and talking at the same time. That will probably trigger the jiu-jitsu community.
That's mainly for Donnie, though, because he's a blue belt and can't do 2 things at once.
And And so, but it's awesome though because he has a blue belt on one side, a purple belt on the other, and that's his 2 happy places to pick on. So it's all about you 2 today.
I can't pick on these 2, though.
I was past the blue belt blues, but
yeah, no, sorry to say. So let's just take a step back for a second. Today's topic is all about a team going to Nationals because, am I correct in saying for everybody it was the first time?
Yep.
yeah, first time.
Excellent. Okay. And wasn't the first time for everybody competing though? Like you guys have all competed. Had you competed before too? Yeah. Okay. So tell me the difference between, you be quiet, the difference between a comp that's just in Sydney that we go to, seasonally, the winter comp, the spring comp, etc., versus going to a Nationals comp. Who wants to dive in first? What's the difference?
For me, I think I put a little bit more pressure on myself because it was Australian titles, but at the end of the day, it was just another comp.
Yeah.
But you put that in your head to start with, and you start thinking, it's Australian titles, but it's just people you face on the normal sort of comps at a level anyway. So.
Was it bigger down there than comps that we get around Sydney area?
So because it was spread out over 3 days, there was obviously a lot more people there, but we've seen some pretty busy ones at Sydney as well. So.
And how about you, Jayden? Was there a difference?
For me, the biggest difference was the 2 days, like competing 2 days.
Yeah.
Usually this is my first time ever competing 2 days back to back. Like usually after competition, you're ruined and you have a couple of days off. So to back it up the next day was pretty difficult.
Mm-hmm.
That would be the biggest difference. Everything else felt and smelled the same.
Felt and smelled. I like that.
the same crowd, and obviously different faces, different competitors.
Yeah.
I just tried to make it feel the exact same as a regular comp. So,
yeah. Yeah, no, it felt like the comps of the old days for me because when I came up, white belt, blue belt, purple belt, brown belt even my first match at black belt, I never used to go with the coach. I never used to go with a team. So I'm used to going out there, doing my own thing, no one watching. You know? Whereas having all of these legends and all the comps, we do that kind of stuff. And you guys know I try not to compete and coach at the same thing, with exceptions, but sort of states and nationals and that kind of thing. So for me, I actually felt a lot. I don't feel a lot of external pressure. Like when you compete in a black belt, you got nothing to lose because the guy opposite you is really good. You're really good, and one of you's going to win and one of you's going to lose, and that's just how it is. And it might go the other way the next time. But it was really nice just having a smaller team there. I just got out there and had fun. I tend to be pretty relaxed when I compete, I think, Rach.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I was more relaxed for this than I was ever before, which is fun. So, yeah, it didn't feel that much different.
Yeah.
Really. It didn't feel more than, hey? No. You know?
How about you?
For me, it's been a lot of years since I competed like blue belt, but last year when I competed as a black belt, I had no warning. Like it was literally the week before that I saw that there was another competitor there, so I jumped in and did it. This was nice because I was able to have a mindset of I'm going into a competition about 6 weeks before we actually did it. So I was able to feel like I was able to train and prepare for this one. So it was awesome for me. Yeah.
And any different between the comp you went in last year and this being nationals? Was there any acknowledgement that nationals was bigger for you, or it was just
only that I had more matches opportunities?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So let's talk for a second about comp preparation, because you made the comment that you didn't have time last time and this time was 6 weeks leading into it. Irrelevant of nationals or not nationals, what's comp preparation like for you guys? How is that different from just going in on a regular Monday training? What changes?
I think the intensity, once it gets closer to it, when you're usually rolling people that you usually let have a bit of a work or, let them do their thing, and then you start to do different things to them. You know what I mean? I think you have to concentrate a lot more on your game and not just helping other people out.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think it becomes a lot more intense. Yeah.
And are you communicating that when you're rolling with the people? Yeah. Okay.
So otherwise, I just rewarding what you just done.
Yeah.
And of course, the rest of your training partners know that you guys are the ones competing, so they know you're going to bring a bit more heat.
Yeah. How about you, G?
Yeah, it was an interesting one for me. I was originally only going to compete in the gi.
Yeah.
I prefer to compete. I like competing gi and no gi, but I like only doing one.
Okay.
In any given tournament, like 46. I want a lot of matches, but I don't need that many in a short time span. So I was only going to compete in the gi, and my usual strategy, my usual preparation, I've got it dialed down nicely, is to train hard on the gi nights and use the no gi nights or the no gi sessions as recovery. I'll coach, maybe do a couple of like movement rounds, maybe roll with the kids, whatever, but use that as my active recovery days. This time what I did, I'd intended on just doing gi. Then when I saw that my mate was in no gi as well, but by himself, I entered in no gi, so I started training that, which meant I was training 6 days a week, sometimes 2 sessions a day. And I said to Rach, okay, how are we going to limit this? How are we going to manage the training load? Because I still lift fully up until about 10 days from the comp. And in that last week, I still lift. I just changed things up a little bit. So making sure to balance that training load with not bashing the body too much. So I just made a resolution. Okay, I can train every session, but I'm only doing 6 rounds. Every night. And what that means is I'm carefully picking my 6 rounds. I didn't train with Jayden as much as I usually do. I got a few rounds in with him, but if I'm going to be on the mat 6 nights a week, 6 rounds, I tried to grab Donnie every time. He's similar body shape to me. He's competing. It gets him ready. It gets me ready. And then I sort of force myself on those nights. It's really easy to sort of go, I don't really feel like training with the black belts tonight. I don't really feel like training with the brown belts tonight, whatever. But finding people who are going to challenge me and test me and allow me to really refine my game, like Donnie said. So it was a really interesting prep. Really enjoyed it.
And
with America in the middle.
With America, yeah. No, that's true too.
Yeah.
And still training in America too.
Yeah.
The intensity didn't change.
Mine was a little bit all over the shop, to be honest. Not regular for what I've done in the past. I was trying to train as much as I can jiu-jitsu, but work was a little bit hectic. I've been working in Sydney, so with jiu-jitsu, I was kind of training whatever sessions I could get myself into, and then I was lifting 3 times a week. Lifting was a lot more strength focused. So I felt like I was really strong, but I probably overlooked a lot of the cardio side of things and like my aerobic capacity. And then I took that pretty heavily when I did my matches. I had like 10 matches over the 2 days. And like towards the end of some of the matches, I was just gassing and it was very difficult for me. So I think I personally put it back down to like preparation was a little bit off for this one, but I guess I made the most of what I had with the time and everything like that. So yeah, things to look back on and try and get better next time, but it wasn't ideal.
They're important though, right? The takeaways from this kind of process. How about you?
I just changed my mindset in my roles. So I'm usually quite playful and I don't really care whether I'm in a good position or a bad position or, I just play and have fun and enjoy the process. So for me, I changed my mindset in every role that I did. I gave my opponent one free pass at a dominant position. So they would get one chance to get to that dominant position and then I would fight my way out. And for the rest of the round, I wouldn't give anything back.
Yeah.
So that kind of, in my mind, allowed me to train a bit defensively, but also try and train with a bit more force in trying to get some stuff away that I wanted to work on. Unfortunately, it didn't work out that way on the day so much, but that's just how I changed my training. So next time I can go away, apply some of that, maybe bring in some other elements as well.
I reckon it kind of did, though.
You reckon?
It did work. Yeah. Your first match. You came up against Chantel. She's so experienced, so good, considerably, and they're not excuses. But she got that, not a free shot, but she got good position early, and you were comfortable there. You battled your way out of there. You resisted, you defended, you did all the right things, and yeah, sure. I think she got you with 3 seconds to go. You know what I mean? But if you had have trained and just gone, I'm never going to be in a bad position, that would have been something you hadn't been in for 6 weeks, 2 months, whatever it might be. So I reckon it did work. I reckon it worked really well. And same as your match with King. So
there you go.
There you go. Takeaways. Yay. So I want to stay on that for a second. Historically, producer Matt was going for SAS and he had 12 weeks in preparation to get rid of it, to get ready to go over to Perth. When he came home, one of the comments that he made from that was he had got himself physically prepared. He hadn't focused enough on his mental preparation for the process. So tell me, does that play a part for you guys in leading into competition in regards to, we've spoken about what you were doing from your training point of view and lifting and cardio is an issue for you. What happens in the mental scope here with you guys going into competition? Do you think about it while you're training, while you're leading up to it, and what also like on the day for you?
I had a martial arts grading as well in between all that. So I was really focused on that, so I didn't give it too much thought.
Yeah.
But it still didn't take away the nerves of the day. It just, I can't get past that. And I as much as I try and get myself in it's not till the second match, if you have 2 matches, it's sort of fades a bit. But until then, I still can't get past walking out of there and your arms and legs don't want to work.
Yeah. I know that feeling.
Where did nerves come from, Donnie?
I think, especially if my family's watching me, my boys and that, I want to make sure that I win for them. You know what I mean? I want to make sure that I've put a performance off of them. Yeah, so that's part of the nerves, yeah. So I've never had me girls come and watch me yet, so I'm a bit worried about that. So I might turn different.
And is this just nerves on the day? Are there nerves for you leading up to it as well? Yeah. And how much thought are you giving it in the days leading up to it? Like, is it all consuming? Quiet.
Like heart palpitations, you're going through the whole process and nothing that you've gone through is actually going to play out on the day anyway.
8 p.m. till 7 a.m. sucks, right?
Yeah, it's just, you want to go to sleep and then you're just like, you start thinking about it. And nothing, like you get all these scenarios in your head, what's going to happen, how you're going to do this but it doesn't happen like that. So you're wasting your time, but it still doesn't stop from doing it.
It's still there.
Yeah.
How about you, Jayden? You're saying a lot there.
Yeah, I've been there many times. You go through the scenarios in your head, like, if this guy does this, I'll do that.
Yeah, it's like,
that is never going to happen. But for me, I actually think that they go hand in hand, like the physical and mental preparation. I feel the best when I feel physically on my best. So mentally. So if I'm training really well and I'm feeling physically great, to me then like the mental preparation comes really well with that, because I know I've done the work. Like all I have to go out there and do is compete, and whatever happens on the days happens. Yeah. But for me, like if I feel really good physically, then my mental side is really good. I feel really not so great mentally if I've gone in there underprepared physically, and then I'm like, well, I don't know, could have done more. But
so was this one kind of a head screw for you because you hadn't been able to get in and train as much? And okay, right, yeah.
Particularly from the last couple of competitions, I've been feeling great, and then this one I was a little, I don't know, probably maybe 80%ish. I don't think I was like 100% in the game.
So I'd be an 80% otherwise, full champion.
I hold myself back.
I love that. That's what I love coaching you.
Yeah. Me, very high standards. So I was like,
I love that.
My mindset wasn't 100% there, but
Yep. What about you, G?
I don't think about it
At all.
I don't think about it. It's exactly the same as Jayden. I can't control who winds up in my bracket. Even if I'm in my bracket, I can't control who my first match is against. You know, my absolute division, there was supposed to be 8. It was supposed to be full division. There were 5 of us wound up in it. 4 of us were on one side of the division, and the other guy got to run straight through to the final. I got no control over that. So why waste time thinking
You'd go out and buy a lotto ticket, wouldn't you, if that was
no, because he still came second.
Oh.
So, you know,
I'm really lucky.
I know who...
What did you say? That's the first winner, right? The first loser.
First loser, yeah. You know, I look to see how many's in my bracket. I look to see if I've got a bracket. Sure, I look to see who's in there. But beyond that, I don't think about it at all because I don't want to stress about it. If I know if I let it into my mind, then I can sort of start to think about it, start to stress about it, this, that, and the other. I've got zero control over that. Zero control. I've got no control over whoever it is. Let's say I draw Rach. I've got no control over what she does. All I can focus on is me executing what I've trained. I tell all the students, hard work pays off, exactly like Jayden said. I've done the work or I haven't done the work. I would rather have done all the work and lose, you know, because someone doesn't tap to a submission, than not do all the work and get a lucky win or an easy win or something like that. I'd much prefer that.
Have you always been like this, or is this something that you've evolved? Like a blue belt, were you nervous competing?
When I'm a blue belt, I don't understand like anything. I was never a blue belt. I went straight from white to purple, right? No, I used to get the nerves exactly the same as everyone, and the adrenaline dump and that kind of stuff. White belt, blue belt. Probably my first purple belt match, or one of my purple belt matches I remember. I was really sick the entire week before it, but my coach was running the tournament. I'd said I was in. I was one of the highest ranked students in the academy, and I'm like, I've got to turn up and just nut up or shut up. I made the mistake the night before of looking at who I was up against. Pro MMA guy, 4-0 MMA, Commonwealth Games judo player, 15 years younger than me, whatever. I'm like, oh, this is going to suck. So I built it up in my head, and I'm like, this is going to be terrible, this is going to be terrible, this is going to be terrible. And I got out there, and it wasn't. It was a really fun match. I can still remember, I lost at 7-4. And I lost at 7-4 because I hesitated because of things not that happened in the match, but I hesitated because of things that I'd preconceived about him from what I'd done. So from that day on, I kind of decided I'm not going to worry about who I'm up against or brackets or anything like that at all. In saying that, my next competition was at brown belt, and that was cage grappling. And in my head, I'm like, well, this is in a cage. It's in an octagon. It's in Tasmania. I'm away from home. You didn't come down for the very first one, so I was completely by myself. I knew a lot of the people down there, but I'm like, in my head, I had built up this thing in my head that when I hear that octagon door slam close, I'm going to have an adrenaline dump. And I'd worked on that, and I'd done everything I could. But I'd also emceed that show, and the guy I was up against, good mate of mine, he was the referee all night. So we'd been in there chatting just like this, and then, you know, out I come. I announced him, then I announced myself, stripped off, gate closed. Next thing we're wrestling, and it's like, there was nothing.
Yeah.
There was nothing. So, and from then I've never felt, I just feel so comfortable out there. I love it.
Do you get nervous?
I didn't get nervous at all. And I didn't get nervous last year. I didn't get nervous this year at all. I was excited and happy. And I think the photos that Donnie's son took of the day showed that. Like, I'm just grinning from ear to ear.
That's what I said to you yesterday. You look at home in there. For someone who hasn't come up as a competitor, you know, like you said, you competed.
No.
Did you compete at blue belt?
Twice at blue belt and then black belt.
Yeah, that's right. So you're not like a competitive.
Not at all.
And you didn't compete in a whole bunch of stuff when you were a kid. So the fact that you weren't what we call a competitor.
I played college basketball.
Yes, I watched Rachel play basketball at her college once. You could call it basketball, sorta. That's true. We did work out that she is a college athlete. But, yeah, just the fact that you're so comfy there speaks volumes about your training and your jiu-jitsu and your attitude and all that kind of stuff.
But it's not – I don't know. I found the whole experience to feel like it was a privilege for me to be able to have matches with other black belt females.
We're going to do a whole episode on this because I really want to focus on the fact that there were 8 black belt females in the national tournament.
For the Masters division.
For the Masters division, first time ever, which is massive, right?
Yeah.
We took our family to America and travelled across the whole country looking for black belt females to be inspirational for our girls. It's, you know, it's a huge thing. It's something very inspiring. So we'll get them on. But how did that feel being a part of that, Rach?
Oh, that was amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was like, but again, like everyone says, oh, it's so special. It's so like we made Australian history that day by having that many females in a bracket that were black belts. But it's just that I just am still here. Yeah. I just kept showing up. Like I'm no different to anyone else. I just kept training.
Yeah.
That's it. Like there's, yeah. Are you all good?
Yeah.
Tech stuff.
We're just doing tech stuff. Move that. We're just doing tech stuff. There we go. Hi.
Everybody good?
Just saw it as a privilege. I was just really excited to be there on the day. I was so stoked to be like on the mats with these guys.
Yeah.
It was just fun.
So in relation to leading up to it, we talked a little bit about preparation and training on the mats. What do you guys do outside? Grant, you've said that you lift weights, so we'll come to you in a sec. Donnie, are you doing any preparation outside of just – and I know you were doing a grading too, but you've done other competitions before, right?
Yeah.
So what are you doing outside of jiu-jitsu that gets you ready leading into competition that changes? Do you change your diet? Do you change your –
No, I don't change my diet. Maybe sometimes I start like when about 2 weeks out, I stop eating dinner about 2 weeks out just to clean my body right out.
Okay.
Yeah, so I'm really good, and it takes off a couple of kilo here and there. You know what I mean? So and just eating pretty clean. I eat clean most of the time anyway, but yeah, you've got to focus on it a little bit, but I don't change that much. Plus, as I said, martial arts as well. So that preparation with the jiu-jitsu.
Because what was the other martial arts that you were doing?
Zenbukan Kempo, yeah.
Okay. And you were coming into a pretty big grading for that too, weren't you?
Yeah. So
how about you, Jayden? What are you doing outside of jiu-jitsu?
Training very similar to Grant, like lifting.
Yeah.
I try and keep it as the exact same as possible. Like if I start changing things specifically for a competition, then it puts too much emphasis on the competition and it makes me feel like this is a massive thing. I try to make it as easy as it is, like day to day. It's another competition. It's like rolling on the mats. I think if you compete the way you train and train the way that you compete, in a way, like I can't go out and belt all the blue belts every day. No one.
You can. You probably just shouldn't. Yeah, you can.
I mean, Aiden, maybe, but
poor Aiden. Leave my poor Aiden alone.
No, I think for me, trying to keep it as much the same as I can. Eat the same things. Weight cuts aren't a thing for me.
Cardio do you do? Like, are you focusing on cardio?
I try to use my jiu-jitsu sessions as much as my cardio.
Okay.
But I think this time around we didn't have many big boys in, to be honest. So I didn't get a whole heap of like cardio intensive rounds from the training, which was, one thing. But yeah, mostly just my jiu-jitsu training is my cardio.
Do you change? You mentioned that you change it a little bit.
This is why we're so similar and why we get on so well as coaches and athletes and mates and all that kind of stuff. I'm really similar to Jayden in that regard, that competition is just training in a different venue.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I try not to do very much different at all. For me, because we went to America for a month, we did have to be just a little bit more disciplined with our nutrition than we usually would be. Not so much in America. We were like, let's have a good time, let's do whatever. But we actually ate pretty cleanly over there. But for me, we were talking before the show. I came back at 100 kilos. My weight division's 97, so I had 3 kilos to lose. And
that was 4 weeks, wasn't it?
4 weeks.
Yeah. So,
and the only thing I said I don't stress about competition. The only thing that I do stress about, because it is in my control, is making weight.
Yep.
Right. So for me, I compete at 97. I actually want to go in there. I'm happy to be the lighter guy. I want to go in there about 94, 95 because the night before, the morning of, if I want to have breakfast, if I want to have a meal before, I want to be able to do that. I don't want to be stressing, especially when you're in a different city. You haven't got your scales, maybe a bit of fluid retention from flights, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So I ditched creatine from my supplement regime. Creatine is one of the best supplements there is. It's one of the only ones that's actually proven to do anything, but it does tend to hold water. So as soon as I get creatine out, my lifts suffer in the gym. The actual numbers go down the tiniest bit. It's negligible, but it also helps to rip the weight straight off. And we probably ate just a little bit cleaner after training, but that was an area we wanted to improve on for ages anyway. And we talked about that last night about how we're going to just sustain that because we both feel better for it, So it was just, rather than just bunging together whatever we can after dinner, after training, because it doesn't matter, it was all right. Let's have meat and veggies and, some good carbs and stuff like that.
So leading into...
what about me?
Oh, sorry. You.
What about Rach?
Sorry, what was the question?
What's the physical things that you're doing outside of jiu-jitsu in training preparation?
Oh,
for
that's right. So 2 days before the competition, Grant said to me, you should probably come into the gym and get on the rower and the assault bike. So I did 10 minutes of that.
Okay.
Grant might have said that 8 weeks.
I did it 2 days before the competition.
Oh, you did just do it, Peter. The day you signed up,
Yes.
you did as well.
Oh, there you
So
go.
it was 3 days in total.
I'm starting out.
High five. You did 3 days.
I'm gonna
I remember that one.
I'm gonna lift one day, then I'm gonna walk, then I'm gonna lift, then I'm gonna walk, then I'm gonna lift, then I'm gonna walk, and I'm gonna alternate, and I'm gonna do that every Monday to Friday. So I've got 3 lifting sessions and 2 cardio sessions, and you got one of
I did one.
these.
It probably would have helped me if I'd done more. Maybe that's my goal for next time.
What are you going to do different? Yeah.
No, I train a lot on the mats.
Yeah. Yep.
That's kind of, yeah. I do kind of.
Oh,
I do. I'm there every morning. I'm there every night.
Yeah, I don't think he was being sarcastic.
Sometimes
no.
no.
Being sarcastic.
Oh.
Sorry, I need that. Matt, can we get a line over my head to chat? Just take them on.
I couldn't work out why you're being so defensive. Okay, turns out he was being sarcastic.
Yeah,
Sorry,
I know.
my bad.
I live with him, so I'm well aware.
You pick up the indicators. Okay, I have another question. So how long have you been doing jiu-jitsu? I'll come back to you. How long have you been doing jiu-jitsu?
I don't even know. I'd probably ask the coaches. I forgot.
How long have you been doing? Wow, you people are really hard to ask questions. How long have you been doing jiu-jitsu?
Coming up on 20 in January.
Okay, 20 years. How long have you been doing jiu-jitsu?
Just over 3.5.
Just over 3.5. You're a purple belt. How long have you been doing jiu-jitsu?
2.5.
You just asked.
2.5.
Two
I
and
know,
a
but he
half.
didn't answer.
No, he didn't.
Yeah, maybe. I'm looking at Rachel.
He
So I
said
need
blue.
2.5.
He's a blue belt. Yeah,
Okay.
2.5. Yeah.
So I don't know, 14.
14, 15
Something
years.
like that.
Yeah. Okay. So we know that there is a lot of talk at the moment going on between sport jiu-jitsu and self-defense jiu-jitsu, et cetera, and so forth. Why did you choose to compete?
That's a really good this time because these guys did.
Okay.
Truthfully, no, seriously.
Yeah.
I said to them both on the day after everything was over, we're standing there, we're getting photos and doing all the fun stuff. And I said, for me, these guys were my inspiration. So how it started, I think Donnie and Jayden, Jayden maybe was the first, then Donnie was like, no, Donnie, maybe, I don't know.
Anyway, I'll figure it out later.
That was the first.
Kind of like suddenly going,
Grant was the first.
The sponsored athlete over here mentioned to me, if I go to Nationals, before I going to get a house.
yeah.
And I'm like, you're going to do it? He's like, give me 24 hours. I came back the next day and I was pretty excited. So, and I kind of was thinking about it because when he competes, I go.
Yeah.
Always. Except for that one subversion where I had good things. We won't talk about that. We can talk about that off.
That's all right. He won anyway.
Yeah, I know.
Hey, you still made it there.
That other bit. I did make it there, actually. No, but so Jayden was going to go. Then I'm like, all right, I'll go as well. And if I'm going to go, there's no reason not to sign up. Mentioned it to Donnie. Donnie's like,
hell yeah.
So he was actually, I was the first one to put my name down.
Yes.
He followed me. Then Jayden and Rach went in at about the same time, and then I paid, and we all.
Yeah, but the conversation was like, Grant at home is like, well, we're going to nationals. I'm going to compete. And I'm like, well, if you're going to go, I'll come to support you. And then, well, if I'm going, I may as well throw my hand in as well. So
what's the interest around competing for you personally, though?
For me personally,
Yes.
it was having matches with other black belt females.
Okay.
So for me, it was like if I could get that on my training mat at home, or if I could go to an open mat in Sydney, which we've done, or I can go to anything where I know that that's going to happen, I'm all in. Like, let me have those matches because it's so rare that I get them.
Yep.
And, you know, I'm down there. I may as well jump in.
Yep.
That's probably why I wasn't nervous. I don't know, because the pressure's not on the same way. Yeah.
And how about you? What's the why in the competition side of things for you?
Just the challenge, and then showing me boys as well, me younger boys, you know, if I can do it, they can do it. So, that's mainly it. Yeah.
Putting everything aside, pushing through the fear. And doing
that's
anyway.
it. You know, if they see me out there doing it, they can do it as well. So
They're going to jump in the next one, aren't they?
they are, yeah.
That's exciting.
Got Jai's already in, but yeah.
And are you happy to compete again? Are you happy
I'm
to
already
keep
signed
going?
up for the Central Coast Open. Yeah.
Nice.
I'm already at that level, so why
And
not?
what is it, besides the kids, what is it personally for you? What do you get out of competing?
Overcoming that challenge and overcoming that fear of getting out there and walking out into the mats and just having a decent hard roll with someone you don't know.
Yeah.
You know, because you can get comfortable in the gym and you can cruise around and you can roll the people, you can pick your rolls and you know how this guy's going to do it, this guy's going to do it. But when you're actually out there and you've got someone you don't know, unexpected. So, yeah.
It's a different puzzle to solve.
Yeah, it is. Fanatical puzzle.
And you're probably the biggest competitor in the room in regards to time doing it and results, etc. What's the driving factor for you? Is it any different?
I just love competing.
But why?
I think I've always been competitive, like growing up. I think we touched on this last time I was on the show. Like I've got two older brothers, very competitive, like always involved in sports. And I think that's kind of in my nature. I've always had like a healthy ego in that regard. Like I love competing. But then it's similar to what Donnie said as well, like proving yourself and testing your abilities against others that are unknown is really really big thing for me as well. And I love the sports side of jiu-jitsu. That for me has been my thing for like the last 3.5, 4 years. So yeah, I think just competing as a whole, I just love it. And also, challenging yourself against others who aren't the same in the gym. Yeah.
I was going to say, Jayden probably doesn't need jiu-jitsu for self-defense.
Yeah, that's the...
No. It's going to be a really interesting person that comes up to Jayden and tries to...
My favourite is when we have to do like the back like dragaways and everyone has to jump to get up there.
The rear choke defense.
I want a stepping stool.
But there could be some steps around in the street. Someone could run off a step.
You're the only person in the gym that I go... when you lift up my kids. Like, all of a sudden, that's a lot further to fall.
Yeah.
And you're right.
Probably both stop powerballing them all.
How about
They ask for it.
They do. Yeah. For all the listeners out there is never an issue.
Again, really similar. I've just always competed. You don't try, and again, I've said this on one of the times I was on here. You don't train soccer 3 times a week and then sit at home on the weekend. You don't go and do tennis lessons twice a week and sit at home on the weekend. You do jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
You get out there and you do jiu-jitsu. You test yourself with it. You know, I'm not interested in testing myself by going down to Wyong Pub and picking a fight.
Yeah.
That's how you're going to test your self-defense. You know, as Donnie said, we train with the same guys and girls multiple times a week. We've got great community, great friends, but you know how everyone works. That's the lab. That's not really testing yourself. And anyone who's counting wins and losses on the mats, you know, in Berkeley Vale is doing it wrong.
Yeah.
Right? You can count your wins and your losses in Melbourne, in Sydney, Niagara Park, whatever. But even then, the win isn't necessarily that medal that you get, you know. And we know that with my tournament, you know, this year I had the best tournament I've ever had. Came away with the silver and bronze, but I had the best tournament. So for one, I've always liked testing myself. Two, it's just fun putting yourself in those uncomfortable positions.
Yeah.
Not nervous, but no one grows on the couch. I mean, you do, you grow one. But you still get the same baggage allowance on the planes, right? But you don't actually experience any personal growth if you stay in your comfort zone. That's why I advocate for so many of my students to compete. I don't believe in the sport of jiu-jitsu in that sense, but I do believe in putting yourself in uncomfortable positions. And that goes to the third reason I do it is, like Donnie said with his boys, for me, I'm out the front of the academy. Guys, if I can do it, you can do it.
Yeah.
And that's it.
Definitely.
You know? And I know, you know, and Donnie's a great example. Like he could easily, you know, runs a really successful business, got a great family, does 2 martial arts. You know, he's got a full life. He could easily go, my life is full enough without this. But he sees Rach step up. He sees me step up. He wants to do it for his boys. He goes, well, if they're going to do it, because we're a similar age, right?
Yeah.
And he's like, well, you know, people kind of assume that you've got to be this.
Yeah.
Nah.
You know, but
Pointing to Jayden for those listening at home.
we can do it, you know. And I'm hoping that people see, well, if Donnie can do it, I can do it, you know. And the girls, if Rach can do it, I can do it.
They've already got the whiteboard going. They've already started getting numbers on there already.
That's it. It's peer pressure. And I don't want to ever ask.
Positive peer pressure is good.
Yes, it's good.
I don't ever ask any of my guys to do anything that I wouldn't do myself.
And actually that thought was in my head too. You know, when I was thinking, well, I mean, it wasn't much of a thought that went into it, but when I did sign up, I was like, well, how can I ask the students to sign up if I'm not willing to do it myself? So there was that.
Leading from the front. So let's talk for a second. I want to change path for a minute and let's talk about loss. And I know everybody's going to go, oh, it doesn't matter and da-da-da-da-da. But it does matter, right? You're not there to lose.
Yeah, that's right.
No.
So if
Can I argue on this one?
You are there to lose?
No, I'm not there to lose, but losing doesn't matter. If your metric is getting your hand held up, and we know it. And
No, but I'm not talking about it from that perspective. And I just want to put some clarity around this as well, because it doesn't matter. Like if you're going into a competition, and I haven't competed jiu-jitsu, but I've competed a lot outside of jiu-jitsu. I've never gone into a competition not wanting to win. I've never gone into a competition not preparing to be the best I can be and hoping that I'm better than the other person on the day. So when that doesn't happen, there is a level of disappointment. There is a process that I have had to go through to go, where did I get it wrong? Were they just better than me on the day? Where did I get it wrong? What do I need to improve on? But you know, there is also that element of disappointment in myself for feeling like I haven't done it the best I could, and then having to process what that means for me as a competitor. Do any of you go through that?
I did not. And I lost both my matches. And because what I went through was I was happy that I had the match. I was happy that I had the experience. I was happy for my competitor. And maybe that makes me not great at this, I don't know. But I was actually really happy that I managed to defend so well in my first match right up until the very end. And in my second match, it was actually the best I've ever competed as a black belt. Which is
so
3
for you,
times.
it was a win.
Absolutely. I felt like I won on the day, even though I didn't win my actual matches.
And that to me is the difference. When I talk about winning, it's that personal win. Not irrelevant of the gold, silver, bronze. It's that personal win on the day.
So I didn't feel disappointment at not doing my best because I actually felt like I did my best in those circumstances.
So it was a win in that regard.
Yeah, for me
there wasn't takeaways where you felt like you'd let yourself down or you hadn't done something.
I got white gold.
You got what?
White gold.
What's white gold?
I didn't get silver. I got white gold.
Rose gold.
Well,
no
one's asking
you. I just caught on now to what you're saying. How about you?
I was pretty happy with the way I went anyway, because the first guy I went up against, I done well to survive him.
Yeah.
I think, I done well not to get choked out by him. So I knew I was in for a long 5 minutes, but I still went okay.
And
Yeah.
you stepped down an age bracket, right?
Down age bracket,
and
yeah.
he was jacked.
He was a
He was
beast.
very possibly, like the age
Yeah.
bracket's 5 years.
Yeah.
You're sort of in the middle of yours. I'd say he would have been in the
He was 41.
Yeah.
I'm 48. So,
Yeah, right. So, and that's not to make excuses. You know, Donnie and I were talking in the lead up. He's like, should I go up in weight? Should I go down in whatever? I said, well, you're doing absolute. So you get who knows what weight there. Go down and test yourself because that's what we do, right?
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's what I'll do. And had a great showing.
Yeah, I was good. And I wasn't disappointed with that one.
Mhm.
I was a little disappointed with the second one.
Yeah.
But
Talk me through. What do you mean? Why?
well, just not doing the basic stuff right at the end of it. And I was I was trying to get a half guard position and I just couldn't. I was supposed to get my legs out and I should have focused on that first. And I just was so hell bent on getting the points on him and didn't go back to the basics and okay, do this first because you need to do this first before you go to there. And I lost by 1 point advantage.
And what's the process for you mentally after that? How do you process? How would you change that next time?
I think it's hard to say you can change it because you can train all you want. And if you don't do it on the day and you let all them things slip out the window, you don't do the basic stuff properly, it'll happen again and again and again.
And how would you get yourself to the point of making sure you are doing the basics properly?
Just more training. Just keep training. That's all you can do. And then it becomes natural for you to do that. You know what I mean? Instead of getting to that point and missing 2 or 3 steps up until that point and just going for that and then, you know, trying to jump the fence and you actually can't. Yep. So, yeah, I think it's just because the first Central Coast Open a while back, there was a couple of things I'd done wrong, but I worked on that and that was fine. And then there was what I'd done wrong in the Australian one was I didn't clear my legs, which I should have, and it was a basic thing, you know, and I didn't do it, but just let everything just go to my head, and it was hard to actually comprehend what I was doing, but I was just so focused on actually because I knew I was close to winning, but I just couldn't do it.
That's really interesting because the first thing I said to the boys after your match, I was like, "That's the best he's ever competed."
Yeah.
The second match?
Yeah, the second match.
Second match, yeah. Yeah, okay.
Isn't it funny? Yeah, it's interesting looking from the outside in and then you in amongst it, there was still takeaways for you that you've like,
And there's another takeaway when Rachel was saying shake, 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 and I didn't know what the hell you were talking about. I had his arm and I didn't realise, shake it. I was like, okay, I know now.
Yeah.
What were you talking? She said, could you hear me? And I said, I could hear you. I said, but I didn't know what the hell you were saying. What was I supposed to shake? But it was in your arm. So.
I was shaking my phone.
Yeah. Yeah.
How about you, Jayden?
Yeah, I think losing is good because it gives you a metric on what you can improve on. Like for me, I've won a lot of matches in jiu-jitsu and I think the handful of matches that I have lost, it gives you a metric of I did this wrong, this needs to be improved. You get more, it sounds so cliche, but you get more of a target or something to work on to improve your game. It's so easy to win a match and walk away and be like, cool, I'm good enough, I won. And it's like, that's not the attitude to apply to it because then someone's better than you, someone's bigger than you, someone's faster than you, someone's going to have better technique than you, and then you're just going to be complacent with winning. Yep. So I think, always losses, they suck. Yep. I never want to lose. You never go in there to lose. But they are beneficial.
They become like the driving force.
100%.
Where you're focusing on.
And it shows like that match that I lost on the first day and then I came back with a vengeance the second day. Well, I'm not doing that to me.
Yeah, that was nice.
It's the same guy, wasn't it? So talk us through that a little bit. So you had a match with a guy on the first day?
So first day was in the no-gi. I had a pretty difficult match the first match and then I had him in the second match of the day. And I really just gassed out and had nothing in the tank. I was trying to move around. He was very good, very, very controlling. And he just beat me on points. I didn't feel threatened by submissions or anything like that, but he just controlled me really well, beat me on a lot of points. And I, stewed on it the whole day, watched the match back and I was trying to, think about it. And then the second day I was like, I'm not giving him anything. I had him the first match in the gi and I just went out there and I was like, that's it. I'm just going to turn it on. I'm not going to be complacent. And I end up submitting him that was the first match of the day, and I was just like, this needs to happen.
This is how it's supposed to feel.
Yeah, there was no ifs or buts. I had to make it happen.
All right, G, argue away.
I got a million thoughts about mine, and they were all positive, right? My first, so I had 4 matches, 2 wins, 2 losses, 1 with an asterisk, right? And
Yeah.
no, but it'll make sense in a moment, and this is why I argued the way you expressed it first time, but the second way you express it differently, and I agree wholeheartedly with that. So my first match was against a really great mate of mine, and I've gone up against him a few times. We've had a whole bunch of scoreless matches, 0-0. My game nullifies his game, nullifies my game. So I know that I had to be on my game with him. And I also know we're great mates and we're out there and we're having a good time. And in that first match, it all went exactly the way I teach my 5-year-olds to do jiu-jitsu. Sweep, mount, take the back, choke. It just all worked well. And it all worked so well because I was relaxed. Because, like I said, it was no different to any other comp. It was no different to any other day. I was just down there doing my jiu-jitsu on a Saturday, just a colder place than I'd usually do it. All right. The second match, the famous one. This is where I say wins and losses don't matter. And this is where I know I've talked about in one of your other podcasts about why I like lifting weights so much. Right? Because Henry Rollins said it, 200 pounds is 200 pounds. You've heard me say this a million times. Doesn't matter where you go in the world. I can go downstairs to Matt's gym. I can go to Iconic's gym. I can go to Somalia and find 200 pounds worth of weights. And that's going to be the same 200 pounds that I'm bench pressing there, here, or over there. Right? With jiu-jitsu, you're up against a different person. It's like the river. No 2 rivers are ever the same, right? Even if you're up against the same person, they'll move in different ways. So you can't really, to me, you can't really measure your progress in terms of how you win or lose a jiu-jitsu match, right? So the rules of jiu-jitsu, everyone who's listening surely does jiu-jitsu. You guys are really good. You're really entertaining. I don't know anyone who's out there going, I've got no idea what this jiu-jitsu thing is. Well, maybe one. You've got a couple of friends. I think Duzzy probably listens. All right? But you win by submission or you win by points. Now, in my second match, I was down on points. I think it was 5-2 at the time. I was giving up position somewhat intentionally to attack the submission, to attack the legs. And I got a knee bar. And my knee bar was on. I mean, it was so on that his knee popped 3 times. It hyperextended. I felt my hips go through it, right? Yuck. Now, in soccer, you kick a goal, the ball goes over the line, VAR checks it. Yep, the ball's over the line, you win, right? In jiu-jitsu, tapping's an honor system, in a sense. Now, that's not to say, please don't take this the wrong way. It's not dishonorable not to tap, okay? He ate the knee bar. I looked at the ref. I said, bro, it popped. He's looked at me cold face and just said, I'm fine. And we kept going. And in my head, you're all right. I'm not going to tap this guy. I'm too far away from his neck. Only way I can tap him is to choke him. And I'm not in that position in the context of the match. So I'm going to just ride this out, see what we can do points-wise, what have you. So normally, about 3 minutes into that match, I win by submission. I jump up. I got that shiny gold one. All right. Cool. If that happened, I'd be really happy. Not happy because I got the gold medal, but because I executed the knee bar. You know what? I still executed the knee bar. I still did the thing that would have made me happy if I got up with the shiny gold one. And I talk all the time about how I don't do it for medals and that. So I'm actually absolutely fucking stoked with that match, regardless of what happens. It just so happened that I came up against an incredibly tough, incredibly stoic guy who valued the winning the competition
over his knee ligaments.
Yeah.
Maybe over his knee ligaments, whatever. But I jumped on smooth comp. He's the 2nd ranked master in Australia.
Hectic.
So you get your rankings points by competing a lot.
He only competes every once in 5 years.
Well, no, but that's seasonal, right? That's yearly. So he only competes like once every 2 weeks in Fed comps around Australia. So he really values competition and competition victories, and that's really cool. Huge respect. I've been talking to him a little bit. He's a really nice guy. He's a really good guy. Whose pain tolerance or willingness to go beyond is far beyond mine. But if we're talking about all the stuff we're talking about using competition to test our techniques and trial things in different contexts. Well, in my first match, it was the classic jiu-jitsu that I want the kids to learn. In the second match, it was that more competitive, like what Jayden and I talked about, doing sub-only comps and that kind of stuff. Sub-only comp probably would have won, because there's no points, and it was a clear submission attempt.
Yeah.
Very clear. So, YOLO. It is what it is. And then I had 2 great matches in Absolute against 2 really good friends of mine who we went up going out to dinner with, which is why we compete.
That's actually such a cool side effect of doing stuff like this too, is the friends you make and the connections you make with people, and for my 2 matches, we went on there and it was war. And one of them was Kim from Roll or Die, who we've had a joint podcast with.
Shout out Roll or Die crew, and good luck, Kim, over at World Masters.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
After that, so you'll already be a world champion.
Yeah.
And we like put it all out there. Like there was grinding of faces. It was full on. And then the minute that buzzer goes off, you're hugging each other and congratulating each other and being best friends again. Like it's cool.
I want to stay on that for a second. I saw a lot of photos come out through Iconic around the dinners and the social interactions. How important is that to all of you to have that camaraderie within your team? We talk a lot about it coming from a defence background that, it's very important in our world from that space. What's it like from a competitor's point of view? You mentioned you've been to competitions a few times just solely on your own. You've obviously gone to at least one that we know of where he wasn't there with you. What's it like forget about jiu-jitsu, forget about the comp on the day, the breakfast, the lunches, the dinners, the socialising around the competition?
That's the question.
It's so good.
Yeah.
I absolutely love it. I'm not a super social person.
Mm-hmm.
My close friends are very, very close. In terms of relationship status, most of them are in Sydney, right? We catch up once or twice a year. It's really, really good. These guys are our crew, and the entire Iconic crew is, but Donnie's competing a lot now. Jayden's competing a lot now. And because of that, we share something that, and obviously Rach, of course.
And I'm married to him.
And Donnie's boys as well, because they're there while they didn't compete this time, they do compete a bit, and they're always there for the hard training. And I hate it when people say, oh, my jiu-jitsu crew are my family. No, Rach is my family. But these guys are somewhere beyond friends because we've gone through something together. We've shared something together. And no, it's not going through SAS trials. It's not, going overseas to war. It's not the paramedics who have to scrape bodies off the highway. But what we do, it's pretty cool. It's pretty fun. And so I said to Rach when I got back from the snow that I went to straight after the Nationals, so I didn't even get to go home. That was one of the best weekends I've ever had.
Mm-hmm.
So, and a big part of it was spending time with Rach. But we had, we flew down with Jayden and his accommodation was creative. So we actually spent a whole bunch of time with Jayden, He's like our adopted nephew son. Bradshaw, exactly right. And then we spent a whole bunch of time with Donnie and his guys and that. And it's really cool. And that's why I want to get so many more of our crew next year to do it, because the whole part of it. And when we did go to that dinner, when you could let off some steam because we've all competed in that, it wasn't just us. It was us and
George
mates of mine from 2 other academies. And mates of ours who are event promoters and, like Hyperfly owners and all that or distributors and all that kind of stuff. The sense of community that we've got within our little niche in jiu-jitsu, it's just so fucking cool.
Yeah.
It's awesome, eh?
Yeah. How about for you, Donnie?
I think that was the best part of the weekend.
Yeah.
The whole lead up to it and then you're competing and then we get to go out Saturday night, have a feed, a few drinks, walk around the streets with donuts and pizza and it was just cool, you know what I mean? It was the best part of it. And the boys all relaxed. Everyone was, Jayden had 7 donuts, I think.
But doing that without competing first wouldn't have been the same.
No, of course not.
We could go out, any Saturday night at Tupper. But without having gone through that, it's like, cool.
You kind of have
this together.
You share your trauma and then you celebrate after.
And it's really good and everyone's super relaxed because there's no more pressure on. The only pressure you got is how much Korean barbecue you can eat. Good about that.
How about you?
Yeah, I think the location of this one made it epic.
Yeah, it was good.
Even when we were flying there, I was like, I'm so keen for a beer on Saturday night before I'd even competed. I think, Grant and Rach made this one heap special for me because like it would have been really tricky to navigate without having them there, just in the terms of like it being more familiar. Like I train with them 5-6 times a week. So it's like, I know them. If I was to just go by myself and compete, it would have been rough. Like I would have been in my head. I would have been, thinking about the comps. I would have been doing the whole scenario thing. But having them around for the majority of the weekend, like we were just goofing off, just cracking jokes as if we were on the mats normally. So I think that for me was a massive positive. And then Saturday night was awesome. And it was like a collective breath of like sigh of relief for everyone that they've finished the competition and time to blow off a little bit of steam, it felt earned, like you said, like it wasn't like going out for dinner on a Saturday night in Tuggerah and then you don't feel like you've earned it. But that Korean barbecue and those sojus were amazing.
I didn't have a new level.
Beers before and afterwards.
How about for you, Rach?
Oh, it was everything that these guys have said. It was
because you're a real homebody, right? So being out in amongst it with all the people in the crew, why is that so special for you?
It's just a bond. Like we'll have these stories to talk about forever.
Yeah.
We'll have that shared experience forever, and it elevates your relationship with your athletes. It really does, and I think vice versa. Like with 100%. It's beyond coach athlete. It's become something more.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's cool.
But also with the guys at the other tables and at our table.
Yeah.
We've known George and Lance for quite a few years.
Well, we've had George on the podcast with the Subversion crew.
Right. And
with Matt.
Part of our extended crew. And then having Tony and the Pure guys over there and
the Synergy crew.
Guys and all that kind of stuff. And that all came about through, initially me competing. That's how we first sort of met. George put the first super fight on for Connor, and then I competed against Barlow, and then he invited me down to train with him, which is where I met Tony, and so on and so forth. So it's all just part of that finding really cool people, and we're lucky that we found cool people in the bigger jiu-jitsu world because there are heaps. Everyone pumps up that side about everyone's this and everyone's that. You know what? There's a whole bunch of really cool, grounded, down-to-earth people.
I would say the majority are. There's a few bad eggs, but
We're Lycra exclusively, you yell louder. But to have such a great extended crew and then such a really cool tight crew, these guys here, couldn't be luckier.
I want to know, are we doing it again next year?
Fuck yeah.
Yeah, I'm doing it. Just keep doing it till the wheels fall off next anyway.
Yep.
So
actually, Barlow might be up in Masters 4 next year. I might skip that one.
Stop it.
He's coming on the podcast soon, so we'll let him know. So tell me, for someone who is, let's say, post 40 and has just started their jiu-jitsu career, maybe late white belt, early blue belt, and they're contemplating that maybe they're too old for it, what would you say to them?
That is anyone that thinks they can't do jiu-jitsu at this age is sadly mistaken. I'm not fit enough. I'm not strong enough. I've got too many injuries. I've got injuries everywhere and I can still do it as much as I want. And that's the best part about the sport. You can do jiu-jitsu until you're 80.
And what about competing? What would you say if they were toying with the idea of maybe competing?
Give it a crack. What do you got to lose? You tap. You're not getting your head jumped on.
What did you get out of your first competition that made you want to go back for more?
Oh, just because I wanted to get better at it. And just that challenge of actually taking on another human. You were
so dirty after your first.
Yeah, because he smoked me that quick. I wanted to bash him, mate.
That was down the truth. Down, right?
Because he just was like, it was
fight another one.
It was, and I ran into him at the Aussie titles too. Yeah. The same guy that beat me in like minute 30, I think it was. Yeah. No, I wanted to, but I think Freddie's going to go up against him next time anyway. So.
He can do it for you.
He's a purple belt now, isn't he?
Yeah, purple belt too strong.
Is it about you that promotes all your opponents?
No, I'm just getting these sandbaggers coming in and beat me up.
Donnie's opponent got promoted on the podium to purple belt.
Okay, right.
So we said like guaranteed purple belt if you go against Donnie.
Yeah.
Happened twice now.
And what about you in your age bracket? Somebody coming into it that's
what?
I don't think
In their 20s?
yeah.
Older than both the guys in the weight.
I don't think you have any excuse. Honestly, the age thing is kind of irrelevant at my age, 29. I don't think there's any excuse really. Like Donnie said, everyone's got injuries. I came into Jitsu saying to Mark, that my best mate, that I don't want to compete because my knees aren't the best. Like, you find workarounds for everything. Everyone's game's different. You can apply different techniques to whatever your body's capable of. But I literally no excuse. Come try it.
Mm-hmm.
And you for women?
I don't know. It's different for me because I am 47 as a black belt. So for me and I think I was 32 or something.
I know, I'm 46.
Yeah.
All right, cool.
I'm so glad you put that out there to the world. Do you feel better? Do you feel good? Was that a nice little flex for you, Grant Bradshaw?
The little toy boy.
Shithead.
Sorry, Melfi.
I don't swear much on this podcast, so I just did.
Yeah.
What was the question?
What would you say to any female
Shush you.
contemplating? Because you competed at blue belt.
Yes.
And then you didn't for a whole bunch of years.
Yeah.
And then you step on again at black belt.
Yeah.
So firstly, why didn't you at purple brown? And secondly, to anyone out there contemplating, what would you say to them that are in white, blue, purple, brown?
I didn't at purple, brown, and then not until black because I just didn't get any matches.
Mm-hmm.
And it wasn't that I was I could have searched for them.
Yep.
Like the girls that I all went against down in Melbourne are all seasoned competitors. They've competed solely like throughout their whole entire career so far, constantly, like with that, and I remember Kim was actually saying to me that she remembers when she was at blue belt, there was no such thing as divisions for females. They would be lumped in blue to black altogether, because there just wasn't enough females for them to have their own divisions.
Yeah.
So that was what I was up against. So at purple belt, I just didn't have any matches. There weren't other purple belt females for me to go against. And it wasn't until I got to black belt. And as I said, I wasn't searching them. But if we as an academy went to a competition, I'd always have a look. There was just nothing there available. So it wasn't until last year that I just casually had a look and I was like, oh my goodness, there's a match for me. And that was the first one. And then I've done it again now. And I kind of have the bug a little bit because I enjoyed it so much. I would do it more and more if I have the matches there for sure.
There's a certain paradox with this whole nationals thing, right? People go, I don't compete very much. I can't find matches, so I'm not good enough to do nationals. I'm not a national level competitor. Maybe I'm a state level competitor. Maybe I'm a Central Coast Open level competitor. But the thing is, and the cool thing about nationals is, because it's quite similar for me, I competed in adults until I was about 38, I think 39, right? Because there just weren't masters competing at brown belt and this and that and the other. Once you take into account your weight class, your belt level, and your age, it all gets thinner. All right. So if I were to enter a tournament in New South Wales, there'd be one match, maybe two matches, whatever. But when you go to nationals, it doesn't mean people are of national level. Sure, they're there. It's going to be national champions, that kind of thing. But there's more people from around the country. It's just like this destination event. It's just like this. You know what? We're all going to go to this one. We're all going to be there. So you had girls from Queensland, you had girls from New South Wales, and from Victoria. I think that was it.
Yep.
All because they happened to be in that one place at that one time. So especially for masters athletes and masters athletes as the belts go up, where that stratosphere does get a lot thinner, you actually get more opportunities at more matches at these higher level tournaments than you will at your local level tournament a lot of the time, So
it becomes a melting pot. Yeah.
So
but to answer your second part of the question, which was what would I tell females to do it? Because you are so lucky now. There's so many more females in this sport that you have the opportunities to have matches at competition level. So do it. Why would you not do it? And there's, the more that women we can get jumping in to do it, the more we're going to get better. We're going to have fun. We get to roll with other females of our age, weight, all of that sort of stuff. Why not? Why not?
Not.
Especially when a lot of females are training in academies where they might be the one and only, or one of 2 or 3 females. Why wouldn't you go to a competition and have matches against other yous?
And that jumps into other things as well. Like Jayden was talking about with his, and I know you've talked about with a few guys you competed with. He's one of.
Yeah.
Most academies don't have any 6'7", 120 kilo athletic purple belts. They might have someone who's A or B or C or D, but not all of those things. But likewise, all of the guys in his division were the only big, strong, technical, and so they come up against each other and they meet each other, and then maybe that parlays into training with each other. Maybe it parlays into, okay, great, now I know there's another me out there. I'm training for that,
What needs to change in the space, do you guys think, or anything at all, to increase the visibility, I guess, for competition in Australia?
Nothing. There were 3,000 athletes at this.
Mm-hmm.
We're not rugby league. We never will be. We're not cricket. We never will be. And you see the big arguments. You see so many people. There's 2 big arguments. One, why isn't jiu-jitsu in the Olympics? Because it's fucking boring to watch and really confusing if you don't understand it. How did I get that guy's knee but lose the match?
Mm-hmm.
That's people who watch that and go, I'm confused. Right? The other one is, but no-gi is so much more exciting and rah, 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 and it's more spectator-friendly. No, it's still 2 dweebs rolling around in lycra. It just is, Jiu-jitsu is one of those sports. The only people who are going to watch it are people who do it, or people whose families do it. The only people who are going to compete are people, obviously, who do it and have that competitive bug. It doesn't need to be bigger. It doesn't need to be cricket. It doesn't need to be rugby league, because it's not. Competitions are getting great numbers. The cool thing about, we're talking about the Central Coast Open next month. They're having 2 of them this year for the first time. Why? Because the first one was big enough. There's enough demand in our little town that's got 100,000 people, our little city or whatever Central Coast got, to be able to sustain 2 comps in a year. That is growth. That is huge. When I started, 4 competitions a year, 3 of them were gi. 1 of them was no gi. Purple belt was the highest rank. There were no girls matches, no ladies matches, none of that business. It has grown, and it has grown immensely. And it really probably, well, you said earlier, Donnie, that was a really comfortable comp, right? The vibe there.
Yeah, it's good.
You wouldn't want many more people than that there. It becomes
chaos.
It becomes chaos. And we've been to those comps, The only people who benefit from bigger comps with more competitors are the promoters who put them on. And that's cool, because we need those guys, and they're risking their bacon every time they do it. But you can compete every week now. If you want to fly around the country, you can compete every week. If you want to stay in the state, you can compete every fortnight. And holy shit, that's so much better than 4 times a year. So much better. That's my take on it anyway.
How about you?
I think jiu-jitsu should be put into schools like wrestling.
Amen to that.
I think it's a great thing. Like even young little kids, young little girls learning how to, control someone. I think it'd be great. I'd love for my girls to get in it, but they just don't want to do it. But I think it should be in the schools, like as a sport program, same as wrestling.
I think that would be amazing. I'm 100% with you on that.
Unbelievable, yeah. Because it's all through America. It's wrestling class, wrestling. So it should be in schools.
Yeah, I think, what is it? The royal family in Dubai pay for it to be in all the schools over there too as a mandatory sport.
Oh, you think so? Yeah, okay.
So
I think Jai was saying the other day it's the biggest in Dubai.
Yeah, very much so. How about you?
Yeah, my state's competitor was living for 6 years coaching there.
Yeah, I think it's such a hard one. It's such a disconnect between what it is and what it looks like, So how do you tell someone, like if you watch videos of it, like, yeah, that is a very, very strange sport.
I know. I took my girlfriend to a subversion match who has never seen jiu-jitsu in her life and loved it just for the men up there in Lycra doing their thing. So had no clue what they were doing, but really did. It is. Yeah, it is. She said it was like a rock concert, but
into a tournament, she'd like
producer Matt's bringing all the goodies to the table. It's party time. Birthday.
I think I was,
sorry,
I was
Jayden, keep
competing
going.
that time. That's the reason. Orange.
raspberry.
I don't know. I think having it in schools would be so epic. And if I knew about it earlier, I would have been in it sooner. That's.
I think we all agree to that one. We're all in.
That would be terrifying.
What do you mean?
Well, if you had started at like 4 years old.
No, but you know what? That's what he came up against in comp.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
That's a really cool thing.
That was a really impressive match. I was excited to see that because probably that guy was as close to you as what I've ever seen you go up against.
Yeah. In a way that I really enjoyed that. I was like, how long have you been training? He's like, my dad's been a black belt for like 20 years and grew up in an academy. And I was like, cool, I've been training for 3.5 years. He's like, I'm a kids coach. I'm always on the mats. I'm like, cool. I work a full-time job and I try to train when I can.
That's awesome. Like he trains almost exclusively in the gi.
Yeah.
The trajectory you're following at the moment with your super fights and all that kind of stuff is primarily no gi.
Yeah.
So it's cool to be able, and that's the thing, it's cool to be able to test yourself with people like that, right?
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, it's so good. The fella from States, he's over there competing at World's Masters next week. We can track that and go, well, they're doing that. And we're pretty close to them.
I do have to say, we've been to World Masters twice over in Vegas, and it's a hell of a party.
Yeah, maybe.
The atmosphere, everything you're talking about now.
What year, Donnie? What year are you
Don't threaten
that?
me with a good time.
Honestly, seriously, if you ever get a chance, do it.
Yeah.
And I've been there twice, never competed, and still had the most amazing
It'd
time.
be unreal.
The atmosphere is second to none.
And I'm a ranger, so I don't have a soul, so we might have a problem.
It's all right, just tell Rachel. She's got a big one, a big enough one for both of you.
Aw, that's lovely.
All right, so I guess nationals, if we rate it 0 to 10, what do you give it?
Oh, it was 10. It was awesome.
Yeah,
Whole
it was the best comp I've ever been to. It's 10, definitely. It was unreal.
Best I've competed, best atmosphere, best organisation, best crew. It was a 10 for me. It really was.
Yeah. I wouldn't put it at 10 just because my performance, because I'm always wanted to get better. But the overall, it got to be better. The overall weekend was 10 for sure. Yeah. The whole team, having the team there was epic.
So good.
Yeah.
Nice.
I've got a question for Grant and Jayden. Sorry.
Right.
No, it's only
you and I
because
are just sit in the corner. Sorry.
no, it's only because he hasn't done this yet. How is it training and getting your mindset ready for a super fight where you know your opponent, it's a one-off match, it's 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 7 minutes, whatever it is, and it's done, as opposed to knowing you're going to have multiple matches with different people at a competition?
I think the super fight is so much easier.
Yep.
Like in my mind,
100%.
the parameters are set. You know what you need to do. You can, it depends on how much footage there is out there, but you can study your opponent almost. You can, you can train specifically for that time limit rounds. You can emulate it as much as you possibly can, get it down to really, and we have done this.
Yeah.
We've done this.
And you know it's going to be on this time, on this night,
Yeah.
with this person.
Yeah.
You know what the environment is. You know all that kind
And
of stuff.
that goes back, that almost deletes a lot of the scenario things for you, like, because you don't, So a lot more control in training room, which I mean, that's great. I like
also,
it.
for the two of us guys who both like the other aspects of training, the lifting and that, it does mean that, and let's face us, neither of us are cardio machines. We're both pretty fast twitch guys.
Speak for yourself, mate.
I'm pretty fast. I've taken you into deep waters before, but unfortunately your head's still above the water. Yeah, exactly like Jayden said, you know who you're up against. So you can, if you want to, you can make that game planning. What are their I don't like to consider what they do. I don't want to know, okay, he does this, so this is how I'm going to manage it. I want to know, okay, this is what I do, and this is what will work best against them, right? Because I can't control that other side of things. But you can game plan that. You there's no uncertainty around brackets and timings and weigh-ins. You have to weigh in the night before. You can relax.
What's a weigh-in?
What's a weigh-in?
You have so much more control over so many more variables. And because of that, I think you can train more specifically. I always say I prefer super fights to tournaments. But yeah, it's.
But there is also the massive aspect of training for a standard competition like the Nationals, where you have so many unknowns. You have to get better everywhere.
Everything.
Yeah. So like you can't.
Which is good for your jiu-jitsu.
100%. Like you get better everywhere. You can't specifically work on, I sucked at this against this particular guy, so I'm going to work on that. Let's get better at, jiu-jitsu as a whole. Yeah, gi, no gi, you're going to compete in both. Let's do everything.
Yep.
Makes it a little bit difficult, like more time constraint stuff. Like I think with a competition like that, and I think that's where I probably struggled a little bit with the preparation leading into this one, because I was like, I need to focus on everything. But with the super fights, it's like, okay, I can hit these specific days in no gi because
gi days.
These are my lifting days. This is what it is. Whereas like when you're trying to juggle all of the balls at once, it becomes a little bit tricky. But like I said, you get better everywhere by training for a generalized comp.
Okay, so hypothetical.
We don't get to pick our walkout songs for tournaments.
That sucks.
Both of us. How much time do we spend bouncing? And we never tell each other what the walkout song's going to be. But we invest more time in our walkout song than I invest into cardio.
I have a playlist of them.
All right, so hypothetically, tomorrow you wake up and you can only pick one to do forever and ever again. Is it super fight or normal tournaments?
That's super fight for me. Yeah.
G?
Super fights.
Yeah.
Donnie?
I've never had a super fight, so I don't know.
See, while you guys were talking, I was imagining that I had the opportunity for a super fight, and I actually felt nerves bubble.
What song did you pick?
Oh, yeah, that's exactly where my head
We
went.
don't tell our songs apparently.
October 18th.
For me, it would be like the crowd and the fact that everyone's watching. That would be the nerve-wracking thing.
My kids loved that part of it. They loved the hype going out into it. They loved the lights coming on and the smoke machine coming out and all that. They hated the match itself because they lost all of them. But the excitement and the atmosphere that's on around it, they loved that. That was super hype.
Yeah, I don't want any grandstanding or hype around my matches. I just want to.
So it's probably normal tournaments.
Little old me walking out, tap hands, bump fists, have a nice little roll, walk off, done. Like
how's
3
the
people
crowd
watching.
atmosphere in competition?
It does take a lot of pressure off.
What, having the crowd or not having the crowd?
No, competitions rather than tournament. Rather than super.
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying.
There's 10 matches on at any given time.
Yeah,
and I still talk about my first black belt matches where I was like, oh, geez, got to put on a good performance here. I got a black belt on. There was 6 mats and 5 of the mats were kids. It was adults absolute, and they were getting absolute black belt out of the way early, so all the black belts could coach for the rest of the day. It was really good.
That's a smart idea.
it's a really smart idea.
Yeah.
There were, half a dozen people watching me and Zariki, who was an unreal competitor, going up against this bum. Because everyone else was over there watching 2 little kids swing around by the gi and run in circles. Because this hobby we do, it's just a hobby. It's just weird and no one really cares about it that much. Whereas in the super fights, you feel like you've got to put on a show. And you'll do things sometimes, like, for example, your takedowns.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, for me, talking to the crowd, we've all got our gear. We've all got our bits sort of thing. There is also that compulsion to entertain, but it also comes down to rule set. So most super fights aren't necessarily scored on your traditional point structure. They're really, if they dial back, they can say they're as radical as they want to be. But ultimately, if you were going to win a match that went to decision on points, you were probably going to win in most of the sub-only ones, unless you've thrown up a whole bunch of subs and been willing to give up position for that kind of stuff and create scrambles. So it's actually the rule sets a lot of the time, and preparing for different rule sets. Jayden's got a couple of tournaments coming up and competitions and that coming up with different rule sets. Mm-hmm. And we were actually looking at that in the preparation for the tournament for Nationals, because having done a lot of not a lot, but having done a few super fights where leg locks are in and all that kind of stuff for both him and I, at purple belt, it's straight foot locks only. and at Masters black belt, it's straight footlocks, knee bars, and toe holds. So all reaping, heel hooks, stuff that I'm pretty comfortable in. And we'll do out of habit in training, had to go. So for 6 weeks, we were really thinking when we trained, and we'd start in positions like, oh, we can't go there. You know, almost training to not cross that center line, to go, this is what we can do, this is what we can't do. So that's a big part of it as well.
Matt can give you a 20-minute talk on toe holds, so he's got you back there. Don't worry about that.
He's got that 20 minutes dials down to 45.
Yeah. Sorry, producer Matt, I couldn't help myself.
I also think with it, like the craziest thing is not many people will get to experience it. Like super fights are pretty uncommon for your average jiu-jitsu competitor, but going from a super fight where, like when I first competed in like a, Jiu-Jiteros or whatever competition, I thought everyone was watching me. And then until you go and do a super fight like Subversion where everyone is watching you, you go back to a normal comp and you're like, okay, I don't care. Like no one cares. No one is watching.
I want to touch on that for a second. How important, and this is just in like your nationals and your normal competitions, how important is the crowd support around you at the time? Does it make a difference? Is it annoying? People screaming, cheering for you? When you're on the mat and you're in it, can you hear them? Is it a pain in the ass? Do you just want everyone to shut up?
All I heard was shake, shake, shake. That's all I heard from the last one. That was it. Jai was yelling at me saying, why don't you do this? I was yelling at him. I didn't hear it.
Yep.
Yeah. Sometimes you can't hear. But
It's nice. It's nice to have your team watching you. But really, that's it. It's funny. The only real crowd experience I had was the Absolute semi-final. And it was in the afternoon. It was a lot quieter. These guys were both on at the same time. So 3 of us were all on at the same time. So they didn't see the match. And it's me and Tony Pycroft, who's Grant Barlow's coach. So Grant was coaching Tony against me. And you hear about it all the time, but Barlow would be calling out, and he obviously knows Tony's game so much better than me, so he'd tell Tony to do something, and straight away I'd just cover that thing. So he was Tony tips, but he was also, without realising it, helping me a little bit. Thanks, mate. And I jumped off after that. I'm like, mate, dude, bromance is over. But it is what it is, and that's the cool part about what we do is we get out there, and we were going to give each other hell for 5 minutes, and he gave me hell for 5 minutes, and then we get off, we shake hands, we hug, and we go out for dinner.
Yeah,
and that's so good. But yeah, as far as the crowd involvement, I would say it's nice. It's nice knowing that there's people there that support you and care for you enough to want to watch you, and that's really, really cool. Especially having Donnie's boys come down. Obviously they came down for you, but when they're not watching you, they're watching all of us.
100%. Invested
part
in
of
it
the
too.
team, they're invested in it, and it's nice for us, I guess, as the coaches. It's nice to be able to get there and show them. But as far as impacting your performance or anything like that, for me, it doesn't. I've always been comfortable in front of crowds. I get up and MC shows in front of a couple of thousand, whatever it is, rolling around in a gi for 5 minutes in front of a few people. It doesn't faze me. I love it.
How about you?
Last year when I did the first black belt comp, I think there was 50 iconic people standing there, and when I've walked onto the mat, they've all cheered. So I kind of know. I in that moment.
Was a super fight, yeah.
No.
It was a super fight.
The thought that went through my head is, now I know what Jayden and Greg because it was cool, and I actually got goosebumps from it.
Yeah.
And then I was like, okay, now stop causing a fuss. I don't want to, because I don't want to be that. But this year, I don't know. It was so many people watching all of the mats.
Yeah.
What was hilarious, and we hadn't even talked about this yet, was that Grant would normally be coaching me, but just so happened that for our very first matches, we were on at exactly the same time on the mats right next to each other.
Yeah.
So he started a minute and a half or 2 minutes before my match started. So I got to watch the start of his, and then I got called out to do my match, and then I think he might have seen the end of mine. I'm not sure. But
bless Paul, my opponent and my very good friend, actually said to the ref, he's like, oh, can we just pause this match for 5 minutes? Because that's his wife over there. She's about to compete. And I'm like, don't worry about it, bro. Like, I'm in my zone right now.
Yeah.
Thank you. I really appreciate it. Let's just do it. And I knew they couldn't do it anyway because there's 700 matches a day or whatever. But that was really cool.
It was really cool.
It was iconic.
I ran the odds through ChatGPT.
I still reckon it's wrong. I still reckon the odds are way shorter than that.
Probably, but it came back saying it was a 0.2% chance.
0.0025.
No. What? No, 0.2. Anyway, I worked.
This is where we wait for mum and dad to start fighting, and then we're just
Oh, okay. Well, whatever. 0.002% chance of that actually happening.
Husband and wife,
same day, same like mats next to each other at the same time.
Especially for such a big competition.
Yeah, that's right. And that's where all the variables that I put in.
For context, we worked out there are about 700 matches on the day, give or take. The odds of any random two people having the same match, at the same time was about that.
Yeah. Anyway.
At the time, we were like, oh, no, but...
Sure, we broke, like, Australian history.
That's We'll have to celebrate two things then.
Unless Lockie and Liv did it first.
I don't know, at the same time, next to each other. I don't know.
We'll have to post the question out there now.
I have a tiny little bit of footage of us both on the mats rolling at the same time, so it was cool.
That was beautiful. I saw what you put up there. That was very cool. Okay, any other questions?
No, I don't know. Do you guys have any questions?
No.
Like interested thing of each other?
No, they spend enough time with each other.
Donnie wants to get into this cake.
Yeah, that's it. It's his birthday. We've got to get him back to his family for the barbecue to go to. That's it. It's time to cut into the cake, I think. That's it. So you can go hard. All right, so we're going to whip around and do a quick hope. Donnie, you're the only person that doesn't know hope. So we raise the family. The Page family gets raised under an acronym of HOPE, help one person every day, and have it tattooed on my arm. It's just something that we believe in. So at the end of every podcast episode, this and the others that we do, we say, what is the one thing that you hope somebody takes away from this episode moving forward? So we'll give you a little bit of time to think about it. We'll come around the room. Rach, we'll start with you, my love. What's your hope?
I hope that I know that there is so many more black belt females out there in Australia who aren't competing.
Yep.
Because maybe you haven't had a career of competing. Maybe you've been in the same boat that I have. You just didn't get match opportunities coming up. Unless you lived in a big city, you probably never did, Jump in the comps, ladies. Let's do it. Like, it is so much fun. And what I loved about competing at masters levels as well, I feel like there's this kind of like maybe unwritten rule that we're going to try and go for it. We are going to put everything out there, but we're also safe in each other's hands. Like, I feel like that might be a thing, whether I'm pulling the wool over my eyes, I don't know, but I felt really safe with my opponents, even though we were trying to win. We both were trying to win. So jump in the competition, ladies. Let's do it. Let's grow this thing. That would be my hope.
Very cool. I want to extend to that, not just to Australia. Anybody internationally who's thinking about competing and also wants to do a trip to Australia, bring your gi down under and come and join.
Ooh,
why not?
Come and train at Iconic too.
Yeah, absolutely. My hope for this episode, look, we talk about it all the time, jiu-jitsu being a really important space for our families. I think if you've got kids, teenagers, young adults out there that are saying, Mum and Dad, I really want to compete or I want to look at competing, and Mum and Dad are like, too hard basket, don't be too hard basket, because I think if I look at what it gives my kids, the ability to push through that uncomfortable, the ability to bury the nerves or to at least acknowledge the nerves and find a way to do it anyway, I think that's an important skill to take through life. And I think it's something that can transition off the mats into everyday life as well. And I know a lot of the time we will talk to the kids when they're going through different aspects in their world, and we'll go, but isn't that exactly like you getting ready for a comp? This is no different. How do you push through anyway there and take that and do that over here? So my hope is that for any mums and dads out there listening, we've got people of varying age groups here. We've got people of varying belt, and they're out there doing it anyway, in hope that they're leading forward for their kids too. So mums and dads, my hope to you is if your kids show a spark of interest, flame it. Be there for them, let them do it, have a go. And if you're not in a gym that competes, ask for help anyway, because I'm sure there'd be somebody there willing and able.
Nice.
What's your hope?
My hope is people who are already training jiu-jitsu is train with some intent. Not so much like a physical intent, but whether that be a goal within your round, whether that be a goal within your session, whether that be a goal for a month, 2 months, whether that's a goal to compete. I think training to compete is a great thing to better yourself in every aspect of your jiu-jitsu, but I think also stripping it all the way back and just training with an intent for whatever it may be is heaps beneficial. That's another big reason why I train is train for something. It's not just training to train, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think, training for an intent, and it's always going to get you better.
Nice.
Beautiful.
What's your hope, G?
I hope people don't let obstacles become barriers when it comes to competition. It's not cheap. It's not cheap financially. It's also not cheap with the physical energy, the mental energy, the commitment, the dedication that you've got to put into it. It's really easy for people to go, oh, I've got a lot of work over the next 3 months. Fuck it, Jayden did it. I've got a family and running a business and I work all day outside every day and I've got a karate grading coming up. Fuck it, Donnie did it. Oh, but I'm a 47-year-old mum and I've got 2 kids and I run a business and sometimes the weather. Fuck it, Rachel did. Oh, you got a full-time job, you go to school every day. Fuck it, I did. Like, sure, everyone's got obstacles, right? But every obstacle has a way around it. If you let those obstacles beat you and stop you from competing, it's not because they actually, but it's because you just didn't want to. And you didn't want to bad enough. And oftentimes that comes from insecurity. I don't want to lose. I don't want to embarrass myself. If you get out there and you've done the work, you're not going to embarrass yourself. We are proud of every single person who's ever stepped up and competed for us. And we've got, most nights I look around the mat and more people have competed than not. It's nuts, hey? We only ever take small groups to any given competition, but the sum of the whole is greater than the part sort of thing. So at my academy, I would love to start taking bigger crews to comps, but I think that I don't look at jiu-jitsu as the sport as such, but I think that the sports side of things is such a huge opportunity for growth, and don't let that obstacle to competing become a barrier that stops you from doing it. Get in there and have a fucking go.
Like it. And I want to say on that, it occurred to me ages ago when we'd have students compete and they'd lose their match and they'd come off and they'd be like bummed about it. And everybody else that was there watching and supporting were like, that was amazing. You're so good. Like, you stepped out there and you put it on the line and we're proud of you. And they meant it. And as coaches, we mean it when we say how proud we are of our students when they step out there. So for me, it was like funny because I lost both my matches. I got so many messages of support and love and we're so proud of you. And I'm like, yeah, but I lost my matches. But I've got to remember that that's still inspirational.
Yes.
So
that's hugely important.
Yeah, don't underestimate how inspirational you are just for getting out there and how proud your team are of you just for trying.
Yep.
Yeah. Donnie.
My hope is probably just to get more people like myself out there just to start jiu-jitsu.
Yep.
Like, it's not too late, 40 plus or whatever. You can do it. Or no matter what your injury is, what your lifestyle is, doesn't matter, you can keep it. I just hope more people like myself would get into it.
Nice.
Yeah.
100%.
Super important.
Super important.
Happy days. All right, time for cake. I think we better say goodbye so we can cut it up and eat not on air. Nom, 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 nom. Well, thank you to all 4 of you. I mean, you're here anyway, but thank you to you 3 guys for coming over and talking through Australian Nationals. There we go.
Woo-hoo. If you liked what you heard today, please like, share, subscribe, put it on your socials, take little snippets, whatever you need to do, get more people listening. Some really cool content in this episode. So
and thanks to everybody for the feedback thus far too, because the comments and questions and everything are starting to increase again. We're going through another growth spurt. So really appreciate everybody out there that's listening and sharing us and coming on board for the ride.
Awesome. Till next time.
See you then.
See you next week.
See you guys. Thanks for joining us. And we're in. This podcast is a My Broken Soldier production.
And brought to you by Iconic Jiu-Jitsu.